Go.
Hey, hello, welcome to Carlene's Kitchen. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to make you barbecue ribs that are healthy. Yes, we could go out to Western Sizzler and whatnot and order barbecue ribs, and we do. But these actually are going to be sugar-free. So that's going to be the little trick in what I demonstrate today. So obviously it is the barbecue sauce. The barbecue sauce, how do you make it and maintain the integrity of the ingredients? Well, I'll show you what I do. And by the way, here they are. Here's my ribs. So we're going to talk about the sauce first. So what I have done is I have taken 3 cans of a whole organic tomato. No, I do not want pieces. I don't want diced. I want whole. 3 cans of it. 1, 2, 3. And here they are. And I stewed them in my crock pot. Did you know that when you stew tomatoes, oh my gosh, they become so fragrant and they become so much more delicious. And I do believe I read that they actually become more nutritious. So this is the mother base of barbecue ribs. Tomatoes are good for you. These tomatoes, I won't dig the can out, but they don't have any sugar or any unhealthy or possibly harmful ingredients. They're just tomatoes. So what are you gonna do next? This is 3 cans. I actually could have used 4 cans. I'm going to do this. Let's take this bad boy, and I forget what the name of it is. Put it in, and here we go. But you're gonna blend this up. This is hot stuff. This is beautiful, and I'm making tomato sauce. Now you could say, well, why didn't she just go buy 3 cans of tomato sauce? Because it's not going to have the same flavor. We're after super delicious sauce that's healthy. And you can't, the best way to get that best taste is whole tomatoes. So that's number 1. And I'm just about done here. I've seen some of these things to be really bigger. Yeah. This is big enough to me, but it does work. And I did see another one on the bottom there that wasn't quite done. Okay, I now have pureed tomato sauce. Let me get a drink of water. Oh my goodness. Okay, now you're going to spice up this sauce, okay? That's the next thing. So what I have done is put together my packet. I went to my cabinet and pulled out the things that I'm gonna put in here and make it delicious. I'm gonna try my best to use substances that are good for me. Do you know that when I was 19, this is a little backtracking, a little flashback, I made the most delicious barbecue ribs in this little tiny apartment that cost $60 a month to rent. It had probably 2 forks, but it had a big pot, and I made the most delicious barbecue ribs. I'll never forget that. Yeah, I was a freshman in college, but I used a lot of brown sugar. So instead of a lot of brown sugar, I'm going to use some golden brown sugar from, Lancanto. Yeah, I'm gonna put some of that in there. I could measure it, but I haven't used this for so long, so I'm gonna pull out a chunk, less than 1/3 cup, and put that in there. And then I'm gonna add some of this stuff. Trihelos. This is 2 molecules of glucose, but the research on it is that it actually does not raise your blood sugar. So you know you want your you want your barbecue sauce to be sweet. I think you do, but you can't. You have to use better sweeteners that do not raise your glucose. Let's put in just a shot of. Oh, my husband told me this just opens up. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to put a shot of mustard because I'm going to put what I used 40 years ago, 50 years ago, when I was 19. I'm, by the way, 68. I'm going to pour some in this. Everything is better barbecue-y with apple cider vinegar. I'm going to add just a touch. I wish I had, I hate to do this. I'm just going to drop it in. This is just a really more spicy mustard with a few better good ingredients, because I'm just developing a taste here. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to add a Primo Kitchen product. This is actually sugarless ketchup. Boy, oh my gosh! Wow, this is barbecue sauce. I thought it was ketchup. Oh, I wanted this, but I didn't have it. So I was going to use this instead, which would have worked just fine, but I prefer this. Wow. Actually, I'm going to put the whole bottle of this. This is actually barbecue sauce. Now, why didn't I just buy 7 bottles of this and pour it in over my ribs? Because Primo Kitchen products, they're not expensive. I don't know if that is the word, but they sure cost more than brown sugar. But this is your girl right here. This is what you want to use, and just put it in with the tomatoes, the stewed tomatoes. Oh, it's a win, okay? And if you want, you can add just a little bit of this, always for the win, is some tomato paste, because we're trying to get the tomato paste in there. And really, I'm going to let this cook again. I'm going to let this stew up. And the story's not over on this, because it's all about the taste, isn't it? I'm making barbecue sauce. I'm making healthy barbecue sauce. This is pepper. Lots and lots of pepper. So I'm making a healthy barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna let it continue cooking. Do you know that I cooked those tomatoes, I didn't tell you, for at least 3 hours in my crock pot on high? On low, maybe 4. The longer you cook them, the thicker they get, the better they get. All right, so here we go. And my last ingredient in my barbecue sauce is just 11 cloves of garlic. Great, I used a ton of garlic and one white or one yellow onion. And I'm gonna put that in there. So, those are my ingredients. I'm going to grab a little spoon here because I'm going to do a little bit of tasting. But what do you think? All right, let me see what I think. Wow, it's really, really good. Maybe I would add a little bit more apple cider vinegar. I like that taste. But, you know, because the combination between the sugar and the apple cider vinegar is good on so many things, and it is in barbecue sauce. I don't know that it's tomatoey enough. So later I'll have my dear husband taste it, and if he doesn't think it's tomatoey enough, we will add the rest of this. But that's not what I think. Okay, all right, let's move on. So, the sauce is ready. The barbecue sauce is cooking and ready over here. Now let's talk about our pork ribs. Wow, take a look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh, I wish I could stop the camera and just take a picture of this. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is cut these babies. You have to go down between the ribs. There's 13 of them, and you're gonna cut them, just like I'm doing. You're not gonna cut your finger off. How much did I pay for these? It was $30 for this. So there's one. You might want to use a serrated knife, I don't know. But here I go, cutting these through. And why don't we do this? Why don't I go ahead and cut these and come right back, okay? I'll be right back. All right, so I have these bad boys all cut up. And yes, I didn't cut my finger, and I did it all by myself. And I'm gonna flip them over. You always want to room temperature your meat. And I already did that. And now you want to season them before you start frying them. So let me just do this other side. My hands are wet. And that was that. This is this. And now let's go over and fry them. I'll fry a few of them. So come on over here, join me over here, and I have heating some oil. I like it pretty hot. So on my stove, it's about a medium. I'm gonna do 2 pans at once. And you can just do 1, but I'm gonna do 2. And all you do, as you know, this one feels hotter than this one, by the way. Okay, you wanna hear a little sizzle. You're going to take and put these in and fry them. You've done this before, but this is what you do. Needs to be a little more hot. Not quite yet, no sizzle. Just give me a second. It's getting hot. I could have had this already, but then I didn't know if it would be too hot. So you kind of have to gauge this thing when you're doing a video. All right, let's try this. Good. You put them in and give them some room. This one isn't as hot. It could be the type of pan that I'm using, but that's okay. So you're going to fry them in a little bit of olive oil, not too much. You don't want to make an oily mess. And these give off a lot of fat, which I became very aware of. And so it's starting to brown, but I like to go ahead and put the cover on it and let them fry. And then I'm going to turn them over and do the same thing. So why don't I take just a quick pause and I'll show you when I'm done frying them. Okay, I'm getting ready to take these pork chops that I have browned on both sides and just drop them in. 1, 2. Eight. 13. There's 13 of them. 3 cans of tomatoes made into barbecue sauce. 1 rack of pork with 13 ribs. And now, this is going to go on the crock pot for at least a minimum 3 hours. And that is how I make pork ribs that I think are delicious. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.